showers in the month of May. The ground's still wet and the sky's still gray, but you're still shining. No cadences or chords to play, no melodies or words to say, but you're still singing, and it keeps me breathing. When I fall apart into a million pieces, when I don't know where to start, you put me back together. You put me back together again. When the waters rise and the levee breaks, through your tear-filled eyes and your hands that shake, darling, I'll be steady when you're at the end of your tired rope.
Morning folks, I hope you're really well. Welcome to another little video with a very dirty GoPro lens. I think the topic of this video is going to be something around mental health and cycling. Something I've been thinking about loads over the years that I've been cycling, and yeah, I thought I'd grab the mountain bike. We've got a pretty complicated weather forecast today. There's a yellow weather warning for the whole of this area. We're going to have thunderstorms later, and it really feels like that. There's kind of, the atmosphere's ripe for catastrophe. It's very gusty, it's very, very muggy, and there's some kind of dark clouds forming in the distance. So yeah, grab the mountain bike, quick ride today, because I really like to get rides in whenever I can. And yeah, a few comments on cycling and mental health. Okay, let's get into it. Whew. Oh man, first time in, well, ever, I managed to get up a little section back there which is about 20-25% bridleway, so you've got to pick your line and make sure you don't lose traction. It's completely pointless, and you know, it means nothing in the grand scheme of the ride. You know, every other time I've done it, I've put my foot down, had a little rest for 5-10 seconds and then carried on, but today just went all the way to the top, and even though it's completely pointless, it's kind of made my day. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this is a little juncture where the short route is back down to the lake, and the long route, which I usually take, takes me back up towards Blackstone Edge and Gaddings and the Calder Valley. But given the weather forecast, it's just going to be a short ride today, unfortunately. I need to get round and get back before the heavens open. Whew. Anyway, topic of this video, cycling and mental health. I'm just going to go through really quickly 3 things that I think make cycling so great for managing your mental health, or you know, just keeping yourself in good mental shape. I mean, people spend a lot of time and a lot of money looking after their bodies. It's a pretty well known fact that not as much time and not as much resource goes onto looking after your mental health, and slowly, I think, as a society, as you know, as people talk about this more, as the stigma kind of falls away, you know, people are cottoning on to the fact that they do need to look after their mind as much as they look after their body. And I think your mind is your body. I don't want to get all philosophical, but it's a part of your body. We know that movement and exercise and getting your heart rate up, if it's safe to do so, etc., etc., has a positive impact on your mental state. And cycling is a great low impact way of doing that. You could substitute cycling for swimming, tennis, ping pong, bowling, golf, whatever. It's just about getting out, getting your body moving, and reaping those benefits, putting yourself into a state that probably in evolutionary terms you're designed to be in a bit more than you are in our kind of sedentary lifestyles. So that's the first thing, it's just getting out and getting your body moving. And cycling is a fantastic, as I said, really low impact way of doing that. Get lots of gears on a bike and you can go up hills at a very leisurely pace, like I do. And a quick note on the Voodoo Brag, still got the pannier rack on from my recent bikepacking trip up to Scotland. I didn't realise as well, I've had quite a few rides since where I was still running super high PSI because of the luggage that I took on those bikepacking trips. And I've actually just today deflated the tyres down to a better PSI for kind of bridleways and rocky terrain. And that may be one of the reasons I actually got that little incline, because I've got a lot more traction with running lower PSIs. But yeah, the bike is still running really well. I've swapped out the handlebars, so I've put my old Voodoo Bantu bars on, which are a bit narrower, and I have put my dropper post on the bike just to make it a little bit easier going down hills. Other than that, it is still completely as standard. Brake pads are still running really well. Gears are absolutely fine, still got its original chain, and it's just an absolutely fantastic entry-level 29er. So yeah, as I've said in my main review video that I'll try and link to if technology allows, this is a fantastic entry-level bike from Halfords here in the UK. Anyway, back to the second reason I think cycling is so fantastic for mental health. But let me just push on a little bit, because as I said, I do need to get back. Talk to you in a bit.
Darling, I'll be ready when you fall apart to a million pieces, when you don't know where to start. I'll put you back together. I'll put you back together again. I'll put you back together.
Oh man, that descent is a lot of fun. And relax.
To a million pieces, when I don't know where to start.
Another thing I find with cycling is it takes you away from, well, two places in particular. One, your own head, if you're prone to overthinking. I don't know about you, I'd be really genuinely interested to hear your views on this, dear viewer, but for me I find it almost impossible to go out for a bike ride, particularly one where there's some relatively hard efforts, and think about something at the same time. I'm not talking about being in the zone or anything. I think that would be a bit pretentious for my levels of fitness, but it's a very nice way of not really thinking about anything, and I think there's some obvious benefits to putting yourself in that state from time to time. And right, where am I going here? Another gate, right. The other thing, of course, it takes you away from is the environment that you live in or know best. One of the great and cool things about jumping on a bike, particularly as you build up a bit of fitness, is it can take you miles and miles away to explore new places, to get a whole load of new sights and sounds. I think that's a clear benefit as well. Anyway, I need to do one more massive climb. I live in a fantastic part of the UK for cycling, but it's an absolutely terrible part of the UK for filming videos, so bear with me, I'll catch you in a second, and I'll mention the last thing that I think cycling is really, really good for in relation to mental health. Okay.
When you fall apart into a million pieces, and you don't know where to start, I'll put you back together. I'll put you back together again.
Ah, it's getting windy now. There's a few spots of rain, but hope you can hear this. The last thing I think I'd like to mention is, well, here's a really good example actually. I think going out on a bike, and I've had this view for, I don't know, 30 years or more, and it applies to running and particularly like fell walking and hill walking as well. Going out on a bike ride, I feel, and particularly getting to the top of these little hills, and when the views open up, you just get this amazing vista of where you've come from. And I can see here, you won't see this because the camera quality is not as good. I can see the whole route that I followed all the way along the ridge lines and all the way back down into the valley, back up, and I'm on the final little rise before I drop down home. And I think the ability to see where you've come from, see the progress that you've made, you often sort of lose that in life. I think when you get into the day-to-day, turning the wheel of life and work and family stuff and keeping up with the Joneses and bills and all the kind of crap that you have to deal with in your day-to-day lives, you sometimes lose perspective of like the progress that you're making, how far you've come, how different you are from the way you were a few years ago. And I think cycling gives you that nice little condensed experience of seeing where you've come from, and getting home, if you do the whole Strava thing or commute thing, and you can see your route and all the places you went on a bike ride. I think there's something deeply kind of satisfying and nourishing about that, psychologically and in terms of your mental health. So yeah, that would be my third kind of massive benefit of cycling. And of course, I'm not just talking about cycling here, I'm talking about sport and exercise. Anyway, onwards. The rain is starting and I need to get home now. Okay, safely down off the tops and not too far from home now. As always, thank you so much for watching this little video to the end, and if you'd be so kind as to like and subscribe, it really helps me out and I'd really appreciate it. And I'd really like to know from you whether mental health benefits is any kind of intentional part of why you go cycling yourselves. Let me know. And aside from that, stay safe, take care, and happy cycling. Bye.